What matters is that he didn't take that to die. Something happened between either that was given to him. It just means that there's more to the story. There's more to it than just that. He didn't take the drugs to get dead. If he took the drugs on his own, he took them to get high.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about 3 Kansas City Chiefs fans found deceased in their friend's backyard, and the mystery that might get cracked sooner than later. Before I begin, I want to say rest in peace to all those who passed away and prayers out to their families. But we got to get into this story because it's a crazy one, and I know this has been going on for quite a while. This happened back on January 6th of this year, 2024. I've been watching it kind of closely, but I've not done a video on it yet. So let's get straight to it. Now, back on January 6th, Jordan Willis, aka the chemist, who is an HIV scientist with a PhD from Vanderbilt, he hosted a watch party at his house in Kansas City with a few of his buddies. And at the end of the party, 3 of his buddies wound up deceased, although he was not. Now, let's just show who we're talking about here. From left to right, we have David Harrington, Clayton McGinney, and Ricky Johnson. Those who are circled, they are all deceased now. And they were found in Jordan Willis's backyard, frozen. Now, I don't know if they were frozen to death or if they died and then they froze later from being exposed to the elements out there in Kansas City. I don't know. But what I do know is that they were missing for about 2 days, 48 hours. And it was discovered that they were back there deceased because the fiance, one of the men, I think it might have been Clayton McGinney, broke into Jordan Willis's house when she hadn't heard from him in a while. She's like, okay, where's my fiance? What's going on? She bangs on the door furiously with no response. She then breaks into the basement through a window, and she goes in the back and sees one of the men upright in the lawn chair, frozen. She was so upset and so distraught by seeing that, she did not see her fiance on the ground and one of the other buddies close to him. Now, all these guys, including Jordan Willis, met at a local high school in Kansas City. They're in their late 30s, like between 36 and 38. These are high school buddies. So I don't know if the chemist, the guy with the PhD from Vanderbilt, drugged them intentionally or what. But regardless, they all had high levels of cocaine and fentanyl in their system. Now, the allegation is, or the rumor is, that Jordan Willis gave them a concoction of drugs because he may have been known to do that. Maybe they were trying to party, maybe they were trying to hang out, whatever it is. But whatever was in the concoction wound up taking their lives. Now, I don't know why they were outside. Maybe they just were out there having a beer, hanging out. I have no idea. And I don't know why Jordan Willis was inside the house. And then something else. So the fiance breaks in the house and finds the 3 guys outside deceased, frozen. She calls the police. They get there within minutes. And then Jordan Willis comes straight to the door with no problem wearing, I don't know what he had on, but he had an empty wine glass. So the fiance banging on the door, you're not coming to the door. She breaks in, makes a grisly discovery, and nobody sees you until the police get there. And then you were asleep for 48 hours. You didn't know your friends were in the backyard deceased. And then after he miraculously wakes up when the police gets there, not when the fiance gets there, he checks himself into rehab. So what's going on with that? Now, police initially said there's no foul play involved, but now there's an open and active investigation. Now, what we're going to do right now is get into testimony from one of the parents. So one of the parents, both parents of one of the deceased men have spoken out, and she has some questions, comments, concerns. Her main thing is, okay, what's going on with this lethal dose that my son was given? If you are the chemist, PhD from Vanderbilt with 55 published papers, You should know the effects of drugs on the human body on an intimate level because you studied it. You got a PhD in this kind of thing. You are an HIV scientist concocting the vaccine for the HIV virus. You should know about things like this. So why did you not see the signs? Why didn't you call the police? Why were they out there for 48 hours? How did you not know your friends were there? There's a lot of questions. And before I go any further, let's get into the video here. This is from Newsmax. I will link to the whole thing in the box. I will also link to any articles about this in the description and also some previous news clips. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
3 Kansas City men found dead in their friend's backyard. We now understand from the reporting that there was cocaine and fentanyl in their system. Okay, fentanyl, probably the deadliest drug in our midst. All right. It's been 24 hours since that reporting came out. But still, why were they outside when they were taking it? What about the friend who survived? How did they get fentanyl in their system? The police say this is 100% not a homicide investigation. That means that they don't believe that someone negligently, recklessly, or intentionally caused this killing.
Now let's pause right here and pardon the freeze frame, Chris Cuomo, now on Newsmax, News Nation, pardon me, not Newsmax. But this could have been a situation where you had both sides who are responsible. The guys that wound up passing away might have wanted to take the drugs. They might have been their intention to go to his house and get high. But also, if the host, Jordan Willis, gave them the drugs, then he's responsible as well. You got both sides that could be responsible. Now, the question is, did he spike it? Did he put something else in there to create the reaction that happened? Again, you're dealing with an actual scientist who deals with chemistry, who would know about dosages, specifically on an educated level. Again, 55 published papers. Let's keep on going.
This death. Let's bring in the first family members to speak out since the report, okay? The father and stepmother of victim David Harrington. Now, you may take exception to that and say he's not a victim. He did this. I think it's an open question. Teresa and John Harrington, thank you both for joining us. I'm very sorry for your family's loss. But Teresa, how does this information, what does it mean to you about what matters here?
What matters is that he didn't take that to die. Something happened between either that was given to him. It just means that there's more to the story. There's more to it than just that. He didn't take the drugs to get dead. If he took the drugs on his own, he took them to get high.
Let's pause right there. Now, I understand why parents would say that. I understand why mother would say that. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful here. But if you're taking drugs at all, fentanyl, cocaine, you got to understand the risk involved, especially with fentanyl. You could easily die. Same thing, cocaine, you could easily die. You taking them both at the same time. What they call it, like speedball, right? You doing something like that, your heart could just pop out of your chest instantly from just one hit of it. So you got to understand that going into it. And again, the PhD recipient, the chemist would know that more than anybody else on this panel, even myself and anybody out there watching for the most part.
So right. I think there's more to the story.
John, do you believe that these were drugs that the fellas brought with them that night? Or do you believe they got them there that night?
I really don't know, but my thinking is that they got them there.
And why does that change the analysis for you?
Because somebody gave them something that would kill them.
Right. And then the problem with this situation is, well, then why is Jordan Willis alive? Although maybe it explains why he was asleep for 2 days. And why did someone else escape with their life, but not these 3 gentlemen? And how did they wind up, your son and 2 others, outside when this was happening? Teresa, where does your mind take you on those questions?
David wasn't a drug addict or anything like that. Peer pressure, Jordan Willis is in rehab. He could have, I don't know, the peer pressure of taking, hey, I'm going to take this. You guys want some? and they went outside because they were warm or something like that. And, he stayed inside. They went outside and they,
That's the guy, Jordan Willis right there. That's the so-called chemist. Now, to the whole thing about peer pressure, these guys are my age, so I don't think that will really play into it. Me being my age, I don't think that I'm gonna, shoot heroin because somebody said it was a good idea to do it. I mean, I understand the parents feeling the way they feel, but for me being the same age as these guys, that's not happening.
passed out outside, maybe.
I mean, it's very consistent with fentanyl, right? I mean, what fentanyl does is it slows down your breathing so much that you can very easily pass out and be unaware of the cold.
Right, exactly. And then some of those drugs warm your body up, and you don't feel cold as quickly, and you can succumb to hypothermia pretty quick.
What does it mean to you that the police are saying, Ms. Harrington, that this is not a homicide investigation? They are not looking at this as this being someone's fault criminally.
We keep getting answers that they're still investigating. So there's something there that they're saying maybe that's not right as well, but they don't have enough to charge or, interrogate someone a little deeper.
But yeah, I mean, so the parents speak out. I understand the mother. I get it 100% because, I mean, this is your boy. I don't know if she has any other kids. Could have been her only son. I have no idea. But that's rough to lose your boy. He's, in his late 30s and he goes before you do. That's rough. So I understand trying to make sense of what happened. As I close, I want to say this. I think the chemist here is one who gave the drugs out. It's just my opinion. I don't have the evidence. I'm just giving you my opinion. I think they went there knowing he would have the drugs. He gives the drugs out. These guys get overdosed. It's too much. Go overboard. They go outside. It's too cold. They freeze. And then they're found days later. I'm not quite sure about the story about him not knowing that they were out there, because one of the telltale signs for me is if fiance banging on the door, nobody comes. She breaks in the house. He still doesn't come. She goes into the basement, goes outside, discovers her fiance and the two other friends, calls the police. It takes him a little while to get there, a few minutes, and then he comes to the door with no problem with an empty wine glass. I think that he realized that something was going wrong and tried to cover it up. I could be wrong, but I'm just not really buying the whole 48-hour story. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on the whole situation? Do you think that Jordan Willis knew that his friends were in his backyard deceased? Did he not know? Was really knocked out for 48 hours and then you go to rehab right after that? Is that what you do after your friends wind up deceased? I'm not really sure. But whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I think what I said is what I say. I think it makes the most sense. But there could be different reasons why this whole thing happened. But at the end of the day, ultimately, it is most certainly a tragedy. And again, may they rest in peace and prayers out to their family. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.